Well, good evening from London. Welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Today, Harry and Meghan torched what little was left of their relationship with the royal family and what little was left, frankly, of their own reputations. Last week was mostly sycophantic.
What was meant to be a sweet, low-key celebration for Lilibet's birthday turned into a national embarrassment for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The couple's carefully planned Disneyland trip, complete with blurred faces, strategic camera angles, and spontaneous family moments, didn't just miss the mark, it blew up in their faces. Piers Morgan lit the match, torching their picture-perfect day with a scathing takedown that spread like wildfire. And suddenly, their so-called wholesome family outing was trending for all the wrong reasons. What was supposed to be a warm, relatable photo op has now exposed something much colder, a calculated effort to use Archie and Lilibet as brand props. The backlash was instant, brutal, and backed by A-list eyerolls. As the media pounced and public opinion turned sharp, the Sussexes' obsession with image control, staged parenting, and selective privacy was laid bare for everyone to see. This wasn't a family moment, this was a PR stunt gone very wrong.
Old revelations with a new twist. As it turns out, we've apparently been wrong all along. Britain is a nasty, racist hellhole where only magnificent Meghan stood up to all this, and the world's...
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were photographed strolling through Disneyland, flanked by Archie and Lilibet, for what was meant to be a birthday weekend surprise. But it wasn't the trip that sparked a firestorm, it was the way they pulled it off. Children's faces blurred, every expression tightly controlled, and the angles? Perfectly framed for viral candids. This wasn't a casual family day, it looked like a magazine shoot in disguise. And coming from the same couple who've dragged tabloids into court for invading their privacy, the hypocrisy was impossible to ignore. Critics didn't hold back, but it was Piers Morgan who tore into the stunt with laser precision. He didn't just question their motives, he exposed the entire setup for what it really was. And once he said it out loud, there was no putting the genie back in the bottle.
No, the world's biggest victims right now are the Duke and Duchess of Netflix. And don't take my word for it.
This promise of once you're married, don't.
This promise of once you're married, don't. That's all Piers Morgan needed to say before dropping the real blow. We see you. His jab at celebrities who flaunt their kids for likes, then blur their faces to fake concern over privacy, hit like a sledgehammer. And Harry and Meghan? They felt it. Hard. Word now is, the Sussexes are gearing up for yet another legal swing at Morgan. Because once again, they've been caught playing both sides, parading Archie and Lilibet like PR accessories, then crying foul when the spotlight turns critical. So what actually happened? On June 4th, Harry and Meghan were snapped at Disneyland, smiling through what appeared to be a wholesome birthday outing for little Lilibet. But look closer, and the cracks start to show. This wasn't a spontaneous family moment. This was a scripted scene. Every step, every shot, looked designed to pull headlines. And here's where it gets ridiculous. If privacy was their real goal, why Disneyland? One of the most crowded, camera-filled places on Earth. The park offers VIP tours, hidden routes, private lounges. But guess what? None of it was used. They chose the spotlight. And now, it's burning hot.
The first 3 hours of this Netflix series paint a very different, far uglier picture of this country and our royal family.
Photographers didn't just appear by chance. Insiders at Disneyland confirmed the Sussex entourage stood out unusually. This wasn't random, it was deliberate.
This series, and they'll believe it. They'll believe the smears about Britain and our monarchy, that we're a bunch of bigoted and hateful people. They even blamed Brexit for the racism which apparently was aimed at Meghan Markle, which is just completely absurd. But by far the most sickening part of this show for me was the constant use of Harry's legs.
Certain areas of the park saw photographers clustering like clockwork. Coincidence? Not even close. This was staged, and not subtly. Here we go again, Harry and Meghan crying press invasion while setting up shots that scream reality TV royalty. The outcome? Splashy headlines on Daily Mail, Entertainment Tonight, TMZ, all courtesy of the "we just want to be left alone" act. And then, like a director calling action, Piers Morgan entered the frame. One savage post, and the entire performance crumbled. Celebrities that constantly post pics of their kids to promote their parenting credentials, but block their faces out like this to pretend they care about their privacy, make me chuckle. We see you. That post didn't name names. It didn't have to. Everyone knew. The public knew. The press knew. Even Hollywood insiders were laughing. Because for once, someone said what everyone was thinking, and he wasn't wrong.
It's about an hour-long cab ride. Never seen his grandchildren. This show is packed with the kind of spurious claims and hypocrisy that have become the Sussex signature. We learned they began making videos about their heroic journey 6 months before their Netflix deal was even announced, and right at the start of a pandemic that was killing.
This isn't the first time Harry and Meghan have used their kids' images to polish their brand. Meghan spotlighted them in her Netflix docuseries. Harry filled Spare with Archie stories. But when it comes to something as basic as a clear photo, suddenly they turn into fierce privacy warriors. It's all a show, parenting for the cameras, privacy for the lawsuits. Piers Morgan's takedown didn't feel like a hot take, it felt like a reveal. And it hit hard. Instead of owning the hypocrisy, the Sussexes are defaulting to their favorite defense, the courtroom. Once again, sources close to Morgan say Harry and Meghan are considering legal action. Again. Why? Because Morgan won't back down. He doesn't fold under guilt trips. He already outlasted Meghan's attempt to silence him at ITV. And this time, he's got the audience and the momentum on his side.
About to. If you excuse the massive book deals, the Silicon Valley startups, the preaching videos about well-being, the podcasts, the speeches, and the major network interviews with everyone from Oprah Winfrey to James Corden. But they've barely been seen or heard at all, have they? Well, on Thursday, they'll quietly and apologetically release their $100 million.
That fiery clash with Meghan led to Piers Morgan's dramatic walkout from Good Morning Britain. But unlike others in the media, Morgan didn't fold. He refuses to bow to their carefully crafted truth narrative. For the Sussexes, lawsuits have become a weapon of choice, a heavy-handed tool to silence critics and shape perception. They've gone after tabloids, sued the Home Office, even tried to muzzle journalists. Their message? Free speech is fine, as long as they control the mic. But this time, they might have picked the wrong fight. Morgan has the audience, the evidence, and more importantly, a wave of public support. And while the legal drama rages, a storm is quietly brewing in London. Prince William, according to palace sources in The Times and The Telegraph, has had enough. Behind closed doors, insiders say the future king is done with the performative circus, and he's pushing for action.
Before we even get to the main event.
When the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
Oh, shut up. What do you mean the stakes are this high? Who do you think you are? Other than a latte-munching imbecile.
Behind palace walls, Prince William is now said to be considering something drastic, stripping Harry and Meghan of their royal titles and privileges. Why? Because this Disneyland circus crossed a new line. It wasn't just tone-deaf, it was calculated. They used the birthday of a royal child, Lilibet Diana, as a media stunt while continuing to trash the very institution that gave her that name, and William sees exactly what it's costing the monarchy. Every staged photo op, every blurred-out face followed by a Netflix teaser makes the crown look like a joke. The future king is done staying silent while Harry and Meghan use their children as pawns in a transatlantic publicity game. And he's not the only one fed up. Social media lit up the moment those Disneyland photos dropped. Users across X, Instagram, and Reddit immediately clocked the playbook, parade the kids for sympathy, blur their faces, then cash in on the attention. It's the same tired routine. If you care about privacy, one comment read, why drag your kids to the most photographed place on Earth? People weren't buying it. They pointed out countless ways the couple could have celebrated privately, luxury resorts, gated estates, even quiet local hideaways. But they chose the spotlight. And now, the backlash is landing right on the back of their heads.
This gruesome twosome only survived by cashing in on what's left of their royal status now. I said it before, I'll say it again tonight. King Charles should strip them of all their remaining titles and cast them out from any connection to the royal family. How could any of them trust them, as far as I could throw them? Because without it, they're just whining millennial windbags.
But no, they chose Disneyland on a crowded weekend for one reason only: visibility. And then they blurred the kids' faces like it was some kind of privacy stunt? That only proved what critics like Piers Morgan had been saying all along. This wasn't parenting, it was pure PR. Even longtime fans found it hard to defend. Meghan and Harry were once again trying to play both sides, and this time, the public was done. But while the photo frenzy raged, another storm was quietly brewing. Meghan's much-hyped podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, was flopping hard. Industry trackers reported shockingly low engagement despite being tied to her flashy new brand, American Riviera Orchard. People just weren't tuning in. And that brings up a bigger question: why does this matter in the context of their Disneyland move? Because the connection may not be accidental.
Favorite little niece, Ashley. Meghan also sees she got no advice on royal protocol, forcing her to learn how to be a princess all on her own.
Joining this family, I knew that there was a protocol for how things were done. There's no class in some person who goes sit like this.
Insiders believe the Disneyland trip wasn't just a birthday celebration, it was a calculated move to revive Meghan's struggling brand. What better way to rebrand than appearing as the sweet, down-to-earth mom on a Disney day with her adorable kids? But that plan collapsed. Instead of sparking interest in her podcast or boosting American Riviera Orchard, the trip triggered a wave of mockery and disbelief. The public didn't see a mother. They saw a strategist. Meghan came off not as relatable, but as a performer stuck in the wrong role. The pivot from royal rebel to California mompreneur? It flopped. People have stopped buying the act. The sparkle is gone, and one by one, the media projects are crashing. What's left? Archie and Lilibet, their images, their names, their innocence. And that's what Harry and Meghan seem to be clinging to now. Meanwhile, back in the UK, King Charles was reportedly mortified. Palace insiders say the Disneyland debacle couldn't have come at a worse time, just days before trooping the color. Courtiers believe the timing wasn't accidental. They're convinced it was designed to steal the spotlight and to exploit the very institution they keep dragging through the mud.
Press show her wearing pretty much every colour in the rainbow. The show opens with the claim that the royal family declined to comment on the series. That's another lie. The palace says it received one email from an unknown company and attempts to verify it with flat.
They used Lilibet's royal name and birthday as clickbait, all while trashing the monarchy in court filings and media interviews. And let's not forget, Lilibet was named after Queen Elizabeth II, a name Harry and Meghan claimed was approved by the Queen herself. That LIE was later debunked by Buckingham Palace in an official statement. Many Brits found it downright disrespectful. Now picture this. King Charles, still mourning his mother's passing, watches from Windsor as his granddaughter's sacred royal name is turned into a Disneyland publicity stunt, with paparazzi, blurred-out faces, and flashing lenses. According to one senior palace source who spoke to the Daily Mail, Charles sees this behavior as infantile, self-serving, and divorced from reality. And he's had it. Reports say the king is actively reviewing options to sever formal ties, including stripping Archie and Lilibet of their HRH titles. Let's be honest. Meghan Markle's whole "we value privacy" mantra has officially collapsed under the weight of her own contradictions. This is someone who sued the Mail on Sunday for publishing a private letter, then leaked selective messages to Finding Freedom. Someone who told Oprah she wanted out of the spotlight, then dropped a 6-part Netflix docuseries filled with personal footage of Archie and Lilibet. And now? A new thunderclap is rumbling behind palace walls. Sources close to Prince William are finally speaking up, and what they're saying confirms what many suspected for years, that Meghan had an agenda from day one. According to veteran royal correspondents, William's frustration has boiled over. For years he held back, hoping Harry would eventually return to reason. But now, behind the scenes, the gloves are coming off. Insiders claim William has said, Meghan never wanted to be part of the family. She wanted to use the family. And that changes everything. From the fairy tale wedding to the Oprah tell-all, from archetypes to Harry and Meghan, it's now being seen as a long-game brand play. It echoes what former royal staffers hinted at all along. Meghan didn't join the monarchy to serve it. She joined to leverage it. She chased the global spotlight, but rejected the centuries-old duty that came with it. William, always the cautious heir, reportedly warned Harry before the wedding. But now, watching these Disney stunts from across the Atlantic, even he has reached his limit.